We are live. Y'all caught us in the middle of talking about QSL cards. So,
hey guys,
hello. Welcome to the live stream. I'm Steve, K5ATA.
And TheSmokinApe.
Whose call sign is ABC123 or
right.
But I guessed it.
I was say, how'd you find out?
I found you on Google Earth. It's a bunch of kids running around in Smoking Ape shirts. But anyway, thank y'all for being here. Looks like we got a few folks in the house already. Throw out some hays and highs and whatnot. Nuggets here. Tim W8NGT. I gave him that name a couple weeks ago. Don Gibbs, Jim OHR, Mike Smith. Oh, a couple of y'all. I'm gonna throw this out real quick. Across the pond, I was trying to send out little thank you stickers for folks that threw some money at the Padawans for the radio drive, and apparently I didn't put enough stamps on the England ones. They came back, so don't worry, they're on their way. I got to add more stamps. But
do you get credit for the stamps that you used already?
I don't know. I'm just going to try sticking another one on there and seeing what happens.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the mail lady wrote how much it was supposed to be. It was like $1.20 or something like that, and I was like, okay, whatever. They're the forever stamps anyway. It's kind of morbid, but when my dad died several years ago, we found in his desk a stack like that thick of just books of those forever stamps.
Wow.
So I'm still mailing off of those anyway. So, but
she wouldn't cover that $1.20 for you.
It was only 40 cents she'd had to cover, man. Stick a stamp on it. She's lost enough of my mail that you would think that she would have ponied up a stamp or two for me. It's only two guys. There were two guys over there, and both of y'all's. Well, actually, no. Only one came back, which that makes no. I don't understand why the other one's not back yet, but I figure it's on the way. Nugget, thank you for the super chat, man. Appreciate it. But
that's what you call Tim is Nugget.
Yeah, well, NGT, it works.
Right.
So he's the Nugget. But go ahead and I'm gonna give. Speaking of the Padawan fund drive, I want to go ahead and throw a thank you out. When we did the fund drive, all the parties involved pretty much wanted to stay anonymous, and so I honored that. And I didn't say, who it was that was doing the match and who was providing the radio. But since there have been some kind of back channel discussions among some of us, and I've kind of been cleared to I guess, air one of them. So what happened was I was quoted a price for $600 for a used Icom 7300, and that quote actually came from Ray over at Icom. And when after the fund drive came and the money came in and stuff, and I shot him a message saying, hey, how do I get this ball rolling? It turned out Icom didn't have any more refurbished machines. And so to their credit, they offered up, and so they're just going to ship me a brand new 7300 for that same price. So I just wanted to say, kudos for the customer service. I and the Padawans do appreciate that. So
it's awesome.
So that's
fantastic.
That's the way customer service is supposed to work. Is something goes awry, and then take care of it. And I was quite pleased that they're handling that well. So Ray and Icom, appreciate that. Thank y'all.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
But and of course now the Padawans will be even more excited because it'll come in. I'd already told them it's going to be a brand new radio. It's going to be in the shiny box and whatnot. So
it'll smell fresh.
It'll smell fresh. I won't smell, any burnt smoke or anything in there from whoever plugged it in backwards or something before.
That fresh radio smell.
I wonder if that's like a new car smell. I mean, you should be able to buy a spray can of that stuff to do that. But so yeah, there. Tim's trying to talk about his. Yep, sorry, Tio. I gave Nugget that nickname during the stream a couple weeks ago or whatever. So, a couple other things. Ape and I and several of the other folks have shirts available over on Ham Radio 2.0's website. It's like hamradio2.com/shop or something like that.
Maybe he'll be nice enough to post a link.
I bet he'll be nice enough. So go score it. I'm sporting my HR. If I can get it up there right. Getting backwards. My HRCC shirt today. So I see you're in your fancy schmancy YouTubers bunch shirt. I'm glad I didn't wear it. It was laid out to wear it. We'd look like twins. It looked like those guys. Those guys that called each other ahead of time and whatnot. So
right.
But anywho, so what you been working on over there, Abe?
Well, I posted some links over in the Discord, but I bought some of these little teeny buck converters that take 12-volt power, and then they convert it into, this one has a USB port on there. And then you can charge things like a iPhone or Android phone, and run a Raspberry Pi off of that. And so what I did is that I've got this buddy who's an amazing designer when it comes to 3D modeling. His name's Rob. It's KJ7PEJ is his call sign. And he printed out, he designed a 3D printer box. And so I printed it out. And what it can do is it can take Anderson power pole connections, a single connection in, and then it has 2 out, and then the USB. I was just going to make a single one that just went power pole in and USB out. And he's like, "Don't do that, bro." And he designed that.
So I've got those pictures if you want me to throw those up there.
Yeah, here's the empty box. Why don't you put the pictures up, and then that way we can talk about them.
I'm going to go ahead and we're going to share the screen that way so that we can.
Yeah, and we printed it out. I printed it out in PETG, so it's a little bit more temperature safe, I guess, is the way to do it.
All right. Yep, I think y'all are seeing that now.
Yeah, so that's just the single side of power pole connectors. And what I did is I took a 12 gauge stranded wire and I just put 2 pieces in each one of those connectors. And then I kind of forked it out. And then I put heat shrink on the end of it because like the box is really small. So what's tough is that getting the sizing right, because it has to be super precision. So once I crimp the other connectors on and get everything measured right, then I can slide that heat shrink up and then seal it in to make sure there's no bare copper.
And for folks that don't know, those are 1-inch squares on your mat, right? So that's how small those.
Actually, the squares are 1/2 inch. So 4 squares would be 1 by 1 by 1, okay. 1 by 1. So yeah, those things are they're tiny, and putting a box together was a job.
Let me get you your next picture, see what you got.
And so that's the 2 on one side and then 1 on the other. The one side's flipped upside down, but you want to make sure that your power pole orientation is correct to work with all your other devices. And then like you can see a longer red and black wire that's coming out of the 4-sided part. And those are the leads that I use to go into Kyle's being a wise guy.
Yeah, I saw your Tiny Ape hands comment. I was
I'll
hoping you hadn't seen it yet.
Well, he's going to get a strongly worded email later tonight. He'll be sorry. And then, so anyhow, those leads go over into, you can go over the next picture into the buck converter. And I can't say Rob did a phenomenal. The guy's amazing. He turned the design out from scratch in probably 2 hours. He just emailed me the printout and then I set it up.
Hang on, you got to wait a sec. I have to refill the coffee.
Yeah, no worries.
I can't click buttons and pour coffee at the same time. So
well, I'll keep rambling. I believe that is 20 gauge stranded copper that's coming out of those connectors and going over to the buck converter.
Right, I'm gonna have to drag this sucker down a little bit to make it go. Stupid screen sharing things underneath it. There we go.
And so there it is, everything crammed in the box. And you know, I know Adam works with really small components, but this for me was a job. Getting everything just right, because there's like no room in that box. And I was like to my buddy Rob, I'm like, bro, you got to make this thing like a 1/4 inch bigger in every direction. And he's like, no.
All right, let me hit
you want to keep on rolling.
Yeah, there we go.
And then there's the finished product, and like even the screws they're M1.7 or 1.7 millimeter. They're like smaller than a grain of rice, you know, and I could barely see them. It was a job, but it turned out really great, and it works, and so I'm pretty happy with it. Then I think the last picture is this next to my Raspberry Pi, so you can kind of see. There you go, the size. So the box itself is 2 inches wide. Was it 2 inches? Yeah, I'm sorry, 1.5 inches wide, 2 inches deep, and then 3/4 of an inch tall. So I shot you a link earlier.
Yeah, I got it up here. It's the.
If you want to drop it into the chat, you can go to Thingsverse and you can download. There it is there on Thingsverse. You can download the STL file and print it out. So Jason, I know Jason, Ham Radio 2.0, Jim wants to get a banana in the frame for reference. But Ham Radio 2.0 just picked up a 3D printer, so if he wants to,
which one did he get?
he got a Prusa. I'm not exactly sure which one. And then you need to pick up the buck converters. These are a Drock buck converter that you can get off of Amazon. It was 4 of them for about $11. They're super teeny tiny though. And then on the back of them it says CKCS1UA. So I don't know if anybody try to hold it up. You can message me if you want to, if you need to get the part number or something like that. But they're the only Drock 12 to USB on there. So. All
right, I'm about to see if I can drop that link in there. I'm too many windows at one time, so.
You're making it all complicated. Try to hold it up.
Mute myself there. There you go. I got it in there.
There you go.
Josh and Jason then make this thing look like it's just no big deal to click stuff, but
they're pros, right? I mean, that's what they do.
All right, so turn that off. Dennis is in the house. Dennis, I was on Dennis's podcast today. If you haven't caught it, go check it out.
So that's Thump 2010 posted in the chat. Sorry to cut you off. He's the one. He's the one that designed it.
So, well, good design, Thump. The big question is, Thump, do you know Ape's real name?
I don't know if he does or not. You know what, he does, because we've tried we've tried to FT8 each other.
Then you probably don't really drop his real name. We don't want to do that to the Ape.
Again, I'm not trying to fanboy, but he's got a project that he's working on now that is amazing. So maybe we'll get him to share that one when he's done.
So I've been playing around, if I can find it, this is an end-fed half-wave antenna, and it's actually a kit that KM4ACK is now selling. He just texted me like 38 and a half seconds ago, and it is now live on his website to buy. I think I hadn't looked because he just texted it to me. I think it's like $35 for this thing. Comes with the winder, the toroid, and I forget how many feet of the wire is. And
get that toroid up close to that camera so I can get to look at it.
Here we go.
All right.
And Jarek and I are actually doing a build video on another one that we'll finish up Saturday and post out that build video and show you how well it works and stuff. But I'll go ahead and tell you, you don't need a 10 to 40. This thing, I didn't find a single frequency that was worse than 2 to 1 SWR. So, you know, it seems to work like a champ, and it didn't take all that long to build. I mean, it was once you get your head wrapped around the idea of, you know, wrapping wire around toroids.
Well, that's how those end-fed half waves work, right? You get them resonant on 40, and then they're resonant on all the multiples that go down, 20 and 10. The one thing about them though is that the radiation pattern when you're on 20 meters isn't the same as a radiation pattern if you had a 20 meter antenna. It's more cactusy looking. It's got a bunch of lobes that come off of it.
Yeah.
But I'm running an end-fed half wave for 40 right now in my backyard and the garden, and I love it. It's a fantastic antenna.
Tio's in there, zip ties for the win. Yeah, I love my zip ties because, you know, he ships it with a little, I don't know, it's some little plastic thingamabob. That's the official word for it. And to tie it off with, I just stuck a zip tie around it because it's just easier to. I'm kind of old, so seeing those little bitty things to get stuff through.
How long is the element on that thing?
You're gonna make me a liar. For some reason I want to say 67 feet.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But in fact, if you watch the video of Jerica's G90 when we took it out for its first activation on that, this is the antenna we were using, and I was crazy impressed with it because, you know, that G90 is only putting out 20 watts anyway, and I mean we were working. We got a main station that day. We got California, Arizona. I mean, then we get the old, you know, a couple guys in Canada. I mean, I was quite pleased with it, and it's definitely easier than, having to set up my ghetto mast and whatnot. So for my ham stick stuff.
So I don't know if I shared this before or not. This is a end-fed little box that I put together. That I wanted to make something that was just a little bit more portable. The one I've got outside is huge. So I just tried to put together a little bit smaller one. I have to do some more testing on this. When I originally put it together, I was kind of joking around saying I was going to do an 11 meter end-fed half wave and hook it to my CB and see how well it worked. But this is a little 3D printed box, and then a T140 43 Toroid with some magnet wire wrapping on it. We'll see how it works.
Yeah, and if you'll shut up for a minute, you can hear his 3D printer running in the background there.
It runs all the time. I thought it was going to be done by now, so I apologize a little bit.
So, yep. So
it's funny. Jason saying I should start using pink 3D material. Here's that same Toroid box in.
There it is, just for you, Jason.
In pink.
Merry Christmas.
I'll send you this one.
But what else you been up to?
That's really it. I think we were going to talk a little bit about power poles. So I was going to show this cable that I did this a while back for the G90. I've got a video on it. Just in the vein of what we were talking about with the power pole juice box. I know a lot of people want to get into power poling, but you got to buy one of these.
Yeah, I've got those same ones, and I went from having.
It's a mistake to not have them, right?
Yeah, I went from having some. I used to install. In fact, here's the old ones I used to have, and I went from having old crimpers for. I used to install networks and stuff like that, and I bought the jaws that supposedly fit it, and it just doesn't quite do the same thing. So I plunked down the cash for.
They're like $40 or something like that, and I was really like, I don't want to spend $40 on a single use crimper kind of thing, but everybody was like, bro, just buy them because you're going to be. They're fantastic, but if you don't, you're going to be sorry. So I did that, and I've been pretty happy. And I put power poles on everything. I'm sure you're the same way.
Yeah, and it's still in the middle of my shack redo, and that's kind of part of what I'm doing is I'm power poling everything up. Especially now that I've got the batteries and stuff from BioInno for the Padawans on the air box. So it's
yeah. So what all exactly are you doing in the shack? What are you trying to improve there?
Well, I added a table because I needed more workspace to be able to do some projects. Because I've always had just kind of this one spot where I play radio, I play computer, and I try to do my projects all at the same time, and it never works because if you can't finish one, then stuff gets slid to the side, and then the missus is complaining that my shack's too messy. Even though I try to tell her everybody's messy, it's kind of a prerequisite. But
I cleaned up this desk that I use here. This is where I do YouTube videos. I would do my work from home right now, and I also do any build stuff that I'm working on. And I cleaned it so it was like spotless. I'm like, this is great. Half a day later, it was a wreck again.
Yeah, and I'm in the middle of putting together the box for the Padawans on the air. So,
well, tell us a little bit about that.
I'll show you that. Hang on, I'm trying to get this link so I can drop that before we move on too far from that antenna from KM4ACK there.
Oh, you're trying to get his antenna link.
If I can get the right window open there.
Yeah, I'm interested to check that out. See what he came
It's already up on his site. Here we go. Boom. All right, there's the link to that. And
go on and click that link.
Yeah. In fact, he just texted a second ago. So did you mention it somewhere? So, because he just got a notice that he bought one. So if you bought one in here, let me know because I'm curious to just kind of.
Well, you get 4.5 cents on each one you sell, right?
No, I don't get any. But he did send me a couple of them for the purposes of making that video, and part of what we're trying to do with it is I want to make videos showing that kids can do this kind of stuff too. So it's he sent me one to just kind of get an idea see if I like it, see how it worked on the air, and then the second one he sent when I asked him about, I was just going to buy one to make another video. He just sent it to me. But yeah, for the Padawans on the air box, I had ordered, and I think I mentioned this last week or 2 weeks ago. I had ordered the 15 amp hour battery, the same one that Jerica has for her POTA stuff from BioInno.
Right.
they were out of it, and so Kevin over there did a solid, and he shot me an email and said, "Hey, we're out of it. They're still in manufacturing." Um, and I had asked him. I was buying it with school money, so he was like, "Well, so I was looking at how to get it tax free, basically." And he said, "Would you be willing to take the 40 amp hour instead?" And I was like, yes, I would. Thank you. It is a good bit bigger, so I don't have hers in here for size comparison, but it's compared to my head. It's a sizable battery, but I mean, this thing will last. Don Izzo said he uses these on his activations, and he can go for days at 100 watts.
Yeah, I've got a 12 amp hour one over here that I've used for 6 hours on the 7300, and it's been fine. No sign of slowing down. So they Bioenno is definitely the way to go.
And that's just another example of Jim Greer says you can use it as a weapon, but another example of good customer service. I mean, he just I'm talking within. I ordered it one afternoon, and the next morning I had an email saying, "Dude, I'm trying to ship this to you, but."
Well, I've got a buddy who's looking to mass produce G90 Go boxes, and he reached out to Bioenno and asked if he could have a battery, a dead one. He said, "I'll pay for it, but I'd like a dead one just so I can get the sizing right," because he wants to put the Bioennos in each one. And I think they sent him 2 brand new ones, so he was for free. He was pretty stoked about that.
Yeah. So that was a heck of an upgrade. So this is going in the POTA box, and it's the POTA meaning Padawans on the air, not and, because we're not going to be able. Actually, although it does look like we're actually going to be able to kind of sort of go to a park. In fact, I've got that up. Just the battery. Well, here, just hand me the whole box. The child unit's in here. I told her to bring me the.
I thought you had Frank in there.
No, I don't have Frank in here, but I had Child Unit 74 Alpha bring me her little G90 box, so I can give you a size comparison on the 2 batteries there. And it's, of course, in the obligatory Apache case. So this is Bioenno's 15 amp hour battery. And this is the 40. So it's a bit bigger, but it definitely weighs a bit more. So this is like more than K6ARK weighs himself.
Right. Well,
much less all of his stuff he takes. So
they're probably still both lighter than that battery that you were lugging around.
Yeah, they're both combined. They're still like a fourth of the weight of my RV battery I've used on occasion. So, but we're gonna put them in because keep in mind I don't have to be small with my box because they're the Padawans.
Yeah.
So it's going in the big. Hey, look.
Nice.
To the big Harbor Freight case.
Is that your sticker on there?
That's my sticker on there.
Oh, you must not have had any more Smokin' Ape stickers.
Yeah, I'm all sold out of Smokin' Ape stickers. Although, actually, I do want to get some of them and kind of put them all the way around it because,
it'd be awesome.
I'm kind of corny like that, I guess. But
this is just a little 4.5 amp Bioenno. Look how little that thing is.
Yeah, and so I mean these things, they seem to last forever. That's Mike's thing. He knows his Bioenno stuff, but what I like about these cases, and if you've not had them, it's got this little pull-out stuff so you can make it so it form fits.
Pick and pluck is what they call that.
What is it called? What's the official word?
Pick and pluck.
Yeah, well, okay. It's kind of like boogers, pick and flick, but
I guess.
But that's gonna fit the 7300 on one side and the battery on the other, and plenty of room for the antenna and whatnot in there as well. So, like I said, it's not small. You wouldn't want to hike it up a mountain or anything, but for taking it out to the football field or throwing it in the truck to meet a bunch of kids at the park, which that's what I was going to say is we're actually the local club that most of my kids, with the exception of one, most of my kids tested through Laurel through the local club because it's free, and as a result, the local club that sponsors that, they give everybody who passes their test a complimentary year membership in the club kind of thing.
Nice.
Yeah, well, I kind of have a workaround with the I'm not allowed to take them on a field trip thing with that. So because of all the Rona, I'm not allowed to load kids on a bus. I'm not allowed to arrange any extracurricular activities that aren't sponsored by the state.
You do a club
But
thing, right?
the club does it, and so
Right.
we're going to activate. And I actually had it on. Let me see if I can get that screen up where all your pictures were. This is.
While you're doing that,
blot us out for a minute.
All right, while you're doing that, Dennis said that the ape stickers had 3 dB.
Well, then I definitely need to get some ape stickers then.
If you do that and then you use a 3 dB spray, it gets you 6, right?
It gets me 6. There you go. So this is the, and you can't see it because I covered you up, but this is the park that we're hoping to activate, because none of the folks in the club have done parks on the air yet either. So they were like, hey, maybe we should do a little demonstration. I said, how about, or they kind of wanted a presentation in our club facility, and I was like, how about better than that? We just go out and activate a park somewhere. And so we're going to activate it as the club call sign, and I'm going to activate it as my school call sign at the same time, N5LAF. So that'll be kind of cool. So keep an eye on it if you're a POTA hunter kind of person, or you just want to be cool and talk to a bunch of Padawans.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
So that's kind of my workaround there. But
yeah, Don Gibbs is saying don't forget to put the whip grease spray on there too.
I've got an extra can of whip grease sprayed on, so we're good there.
That gets you 1-to-1 SWR without a tuner, right?
Well, I don't need a whole lot. I mean, I've already got under 2-to-1 with this antenna, so which is definitely better than that ham stick I was trying to use at my last POTA activation. Dude, those things have the little, you have to slide the whip in and out, and somehow or another my 40-meter whip had gotten cafarfled. And so I couldn't for the life of me get it tuned up. So that's actually the reason I made that little video last week on this little MFJ thing.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. I mean, they get $330 for it, so they're kind of proud of it. But I mean, keep in mind I have an NOVNA that I haven't really used yet, so I really need to compare the two just to see ease of use. But I mean, this thing, just hook it up and hit scan and it goes. So
well, see, the thing is that's built for a very specific purpose. The NanoVNA is built for a variety of things, not necessarily ham radio. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So there's a little more learning curve to the NanoVNA, where this thing, I have the instruction book somewhere. I didn't bother reading it. It's like whatever, I can put an antenna into it.
For a decent analyzer, I mean, $330 doesn't seem like a bad price for that. I mean, you look at some of the Zoom products.
And I don't know what MFJ gets for their big shoebox size ones.
They're probably like $250, something like that, I think.
But
I'm sure somebody can post it. I don't know for sure.
That will fit in a POTA bag or a POTA case or whatever, and not be. I mean, even Adam might carry that.
He won't. He wouldn't.
No, you're right. It's more than a couple ounces. He wouldn't touch it. But
he can tell the SWR of an antenna by holding it in his hand and weighing it like this.
I think he has to lick it first, though.
Right. I've seen him. He hold it like this to his ear,
and just kind of up 1.2. He's good there. So, but got a few more people in here. Who we have in here? You been keeping up with it?
I've been trying to. Chuck's in there. W5 IPA Jason, how you doing, man?
Mr. I drink IPAs. I'm only after the first couple do I drink those.
Yeah.
Clark's in here. Hey, Clark.
Tango Oscar Mike is poking around in there.
And JSS 672006 said, "Hey, Ape." Didn't say hi to me, so my feelings are hurt.
Well, he knows who the star power is around here.
That's what it is. You've got the Ape shirt. So mine's just a coffee cup on top of a tower. But
I think that the logo's pretty good you got there.
And my kid made that logo. That makes it even better.
Yeah, for sure. But I had to work with somebody over across on the other side of the world through Fiverr.
Yeah, I did a couple of those first, and I think I mentioned it a couple weeks ago or whatever, and my kid came in and said, "Dude, those suck. Let me just do one." And 20 minutes later, I could have gotten off with just like buying her Taco Bell. Instead of all that Fiverr money I threw out
there. Let me go down and get you a chimichita.
Yeah. Man, really? Let's see. Somebody's walking around Kingman Walmart wondering if I should play 147.435 on my PA.
That's Eagle on the radio god. But I don't know if I've seen him in here. So welcome.
Welcome. So, what do you have access to the PA in the store? I mean, might be entertaining, I guess, depending what's on 147.435 at the moment. But
If he does it, he should videotape it.
yes, you should definitely videotape it and Insta Snapchat Tweetagram it so we can all see it.
Yeah. You guys still using MySpace, or is that done?
So, nah, I'm not a MySpace kind of guy. I think To still uses MySpace on his Commodore 64s.
It's more advanced than most of the ham websites that are out there, though. To be honest with you,
this is true. You know, there was. Try to see how to say this politely. There's one guy's website, and I don't want to disparage the content. The content of this website, I mean, he's got some great stuff on there.
right?
But goodness gracious, trying to find anything on that thing, it's just like, well, it's like my desktop. You know, if you got a sneak peek at the desktop when I was trying to maximize this screen share thing, I mean, it's just a hot mess. And there's a lot of stuff with like amateur radio and schools kind of stuff. So, you know, I spend a fair amount of time there kind of shopping around looking at stuff, and I spend probably 7 times as much time as I should just trying to find it.
Well, some of the sites, like where you order stuff, like some guy in his basement's making some kind of something or other, and he puts up a website. And it's like, I can't even figure out how to add this to my cart. And then, you start to say, hey, is this thing secure, or somebody going to jack my credit card number?
Yeah, somebody's going to jack your credit card number. Use PayPal.
So, yeah. Well, most of them probably don't support PayPal or money order only.
Yeah, money order or Western Union.
Probably personal check or money.
No, nobody takes a personal check anymore. You can print them. Speaking of printing them, somebody printed a halfway, not ham radio related at all, but somebody had a halfway decent fake $100 bill at school the other day.
Oh, wow.
I was like, when you look at it, I mean, once you feel it, you can get they should have crumpled it up a little bit, but I was like, wow, that's, of course, we all broke every single rule there is for, collection of evidence. We're like, wow, that's pretty cool. Watch my fingerprints get all over it.
Right. You're supposed to call the police immediately.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have a deputy there, and he was kind of, so, well, that's pretty good, but I don't guess they were going to do anything about it anyway. Privacy.com is good for one-time use credit cards. I don't know that one.
There you go.
86DM Dennis giving you that tip.
Speaking of Dennis, can you talk about the thing earlier? Or?
The thing,
weren't you on his podcast?
Yes, I was.
Sorry if I spoiled that.
No, I mentioned it earlier. Yeah, I was on his podcast. Let's see, I say filmed it, recorded it. I guess what's it been, Dennis? 2-3 weeks ago now, and he's starting to get a good flow of content, get some stuff built up. I will say he's got serious editing skills because he had that sucker done like in no time. He shot me another tweet, said, "Hey, by the way, this is done. If you want to take a listen, see what you think."
Is it posted yet? Like I checked it out.
Yeah, him out. It posted today. So
okay, because I listened to the one he did with K6ARK the other day.
Yeah, that's my. I try to listen to him when I'm driving to and from work or cutting grass or whatever. Cutting grass, sometimes I have to have angry music on though, because it's after about 2 acres. I'm like, God, I'm tired of this grass. So I have to turn on some Metalhead or something.
Gotcha.
But yeah, Dennis said that was a nice talk. Yeah, I enjoyed that, and any chance I get to kind of.
Dennis is just being nice.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna run with it anyway because you're normally kind of a turd, so we'll go there.
Yeah, I got a reputation.
But any chance I get to kind of spread the word on getting more Padawans and stuff out there, I'm all for. So
no, that's good.
That's pretty much all we talked about was ham radio in schools and Padawans and stuff. So yeah, and unfortunately, Kyle, speed metal, the lawnmower only goes so fast anyway. It just makes me feel better about doing it. So I come in, not quite as angry because I vented it out there. So
out there sweating.
But it's supposed to cool off. I mean, I think it's supposed to be like 80 something this weekend. It'll be the first time I've had a chance to cut my 12 acres I cut.
Wow.
In a minute. So serious though. Yeah, I'm trying to propagate new hams, Dennis. We're getting there. So we are through 3 units of the ARRL PowerPoints and license manual at school so far. So
Tango Oscar Mike said he listened to it today. Go check out his channel if you're not. He's putting out some great content.
And yeah, any of the folks in here that do have ham radio kind of content, I mean, we need to drop some links in here because I'm all for more ham radio content. There's several guys. In fact, there's a new kid. I forget. I wrote it down somewhere, but it's probably at school. He's a young guy. I mean, he's like 16 or 17 years old, making ham radio content. And I shared it somewhere. I need to find it and share it back out because he's making good stuff. I mean, he made it's like a 45-minute video on the G90, and it's like everything you want to know on the G90 kind of thing.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I saw that video.
And
he did a pretty good job.
Yeah, it's like his mom or grandma or somebody came in the middle to feed him lunch or something like that in the middle of the video. And
I'm surprised there's not more G90 videos out there, just given how many people have them, to be honest with you.
So, yeah, and I haven't had a chance to watch MRD's yet, about did it overheat or not. I saw he dropped it, I think, maybe on Twitter or something. I saw him.
Well, I won't spoil it for you.
So, yeah, I hadn't gotten to see it yet, so I am curious because Jericho's got pretty toasty after 30 or 40 minutes in the open air. So, but that's actually something that I'm considering because, I've got my truck has, I don't know what you call them. It's got that enclosed lockable space under the rear seat, but there's no ventilation back in there.
So, you're talking about permanently mounting it, something like that?
Well, not hers, obviously, but any radio with a remote head, I want to mount the radio back there and just run the remote head up to the dash. And I'm a little concerned as to how hot it's going to get under there. Now, granted, I guess I could, I could cut a couple holes and put some CPU fans in there or something like that.
Yeah, that starts to get to be, I'd rather find another spot to mount it.
Yeah, I'm like, but that, there's no room under that seat because it's got all that heated, cooled seat crap in there, which, I mean, it's nice when you want it, but it takes up all my space to mount other stuff, so.
Yeah, I got mine mounted, my 7900, I think that's what it is. It's a little two-band Yaesu. It's under the passenger seat in my Jeep. And I've never had any problems with that, but it doesn't get too hot.
Jim says he thinks I should ask MRD if his G90 will get to you. See, I'm thinking that the hints are sounding like maybe it got a little warm. So, I don't know. I'll have to watch it after this before Ham Radio TV's stream tonight, so.
Yeah, he's I'm not sure what the topic is today, though, on Ham Radio TV. About to check it out.
I'm not either. And if I understand correctly, Sterling is going to start streaming.
Yeah, he said next Wednesday he's going to start after your stream, and we'll see how that goes.
So, and if you don't know Sterling N0SSC, make sure you hop over there and sub his channel as well. He makes some good content. Had a great little series I got on a few times when he was learning CW and stuff like that too. So,
well, Monday night he did a really good video on his QRP antenna. He calls it the DX Idiot.
There we go. Jim dropped it. The DX Idiot.
So. Yeah, it was pretty funny. But while we're talking about that, let me do some quick plug-in real quick. Tomorrow is our Thursday night ham radio that the YouTubers bunch does, and we've got 3 videos lined up. Starting at 5:30 Central, we have Ham Radio 2.0 is gonna do a 30-minute show, and then temporarily offline comes on at 6 o'clock, and then Sterling is coming on at 6:15. And then this Friday night, the 18th at 8 o'clock Central, Kyle AA0Z is going to do his trivia night, his monthly trivia night, and that should be pretty good. And I believe we have some non-YouTubers bunch interaction in there as well, where some of the viewers are going to be able to participate. So that should be pretty exciting as well.
And and are you cool with me sliding over your spreadsheet to show them kind of the schedule?
Yeah, that's fine.
So we've got, they kind of got a quick peek when I opened it the first time, but this is,
well, in that case, I'm not cool with it.
Yeah, well, too late. This is kind of the spreadsheet that Ape keeps up with, kind of scheduling everything. And you see there are some blank spots in there. So if you do create ham radio content and you want to get plugged into the schedule, we can, hey, the more the merrier, I think, if there's room in there. But either way, you can see, we've got Thursday night ham radio, Then obviously you got Josh on Saturday evenings. And then Monday night ham radio is typically just packed. In fact, it's been a couple weeks since I've been able to get a spot on Monday night because if I didn't have a video ready in time, I didn't want to take a spot yet. But kudos to Ape for getting all this stuff, and To puts together all those playlists. So if we're visible again now. So if you're picking your nose, stop. To creates those playlists to make it easy to follow along. So shout out to both of you guys. I know it takes a good bit of work there, but
yeah, it's a little bit of grief trying to get everything in, because what'll happen is that we won't have, like you could see on the schedule, like Thursday the 17th, we don't have anything scheduled. Wednesday afternoon, 6 or 7 people will be like, hey, I got stuff.
Yeah, well, and that's kind of the once you, I'd like in the summer I tried to create a little backlog of videos so I'd have stuff ready, because I just knew once school started things would get crazy busy, and I'm out of my backlog now, so it's like I got to spend some.
I don't even know what my next video is going to be on.
So I got to spend some Saturday time getting some stuff done, right. and I've got to refilm that stuff I talked about for the ARRL that I screwed up. So, right. But yeah, Jim's saying the 8 behind the curtain. He's like the Wizard of Oz back there.
Yeah.
So, and Tio's saying, yeah, drop him a line if you want a time slot, because I think I pretty much speak for all of us when I say that we're all in it just to promote the hobby. If you've got good ham radio content, even if you're not in the quote unquote YouTubers bunch, we can get a spot for you if you want to.
You want to play?
Kind of be a part of the.
Well, what we don't want to do is we don't want to post videos when somebody else is posting videos, right? Because we don't want to split the audience. We want to share and grow together is really the goal, right?
Yeah, and well, I mean, because the reality is, if somebody's watching your video and To's got one at the same time, some are going to go to To, some are going to go to you, and then some of them, for no intent, they're not going to mean to not go back and listen to the other one or watch the other one. It's going to slip some of their minds and whatnot, and both may have great content. I mean, obviously To is going to talk about Commodore 64 and logging programs and stuff, but
well, like what we do with the Monday night and Thursday night ham radios is we post those playlists on Twitter. To posts them on his Twitter account, so sub that, and then you'll get a link to it. And when you click on it, it switches from video to video as you go through it. So it really works well.
Yeah, it does. It's especially like a lot of the time I'm driving home from work or something when it's going. So even if I can't watch it, I can hit it on my phone and it'll still go through the playlist, and I can at least listen to it as good. Dennis thinks we should bust out 3 a.m. live streams. Well, Dennis, I'm up at 5 a.m. to get on the big yellow dog to drive it to school every day. So I don't think I'm game for 3 a.m. live streams.
So Don, N5 SKT, he said that he melted his G90 power cable.
So he knows it gets hot.
Yeah. So you gotta build one. I got a video where I built this is my G90 power cable, and this ain't melting. So it's a little bit of work, but I saw some of your stuff. I'm sure you're quite capable to put one together.
And in fact, I was talking to my Padawans today about that. They're like, "What do you mean? Things get hot when electricity runs through it?" And I gave them the example of just, I actually used an extension cord as the example. If I plug my camper in outside and I turn on the air conditioner with a piddly little extension cord, it's going to get toasty. So, I might have to show them some of that video. But, let's see. Hayden's Ham Radio TV will do it. I'm not sure what they're talking
about. Here we go. Somebody's saying that W5KUB and Dixie DX were streaming at the same time. We're trying to work that out, I believe.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff we want to avoid, because there's plenty of content. Well, I don't say there's plenty. There's a lot of content out there, and we just want everybody to get to see all of it they can. So
we'll never get it right, but we can get it better, I think is what.
No, we're not going to get everybody, but it's if we all play, like you said, if we all play well together and plan it all together, then everybody grows together, kind of thing. This is cool.
The rising tide raises all boats, right? That's what we want.
So, Dennis wonders when the water-cooled ham radios will become a thing. I don't know, Dennis. I'm afraid to let the smoke out with the water cool when it breaks. So, the circuit breakers in your house will trip because of heat, not because of overvoltage, technically. Tio's going to get all technical with us now.
Now he's going to start talking about the Commodore 64. He said he's using C64 log too.
So, all the trash people throw at him for his Commodore 64s, those were cool little machines, man.
The work he does on them is amazing.
Yeah, he does some stuff with, when he first started hanging with us, it was kind of like you look at his channel, it's like, holy cow.
I'm like, who let this nerd in?
It's like, dude, seriously? I mean, I used to use the C64 to play, the raid on Bungling Bay. That was the extent of my Commodore 64 stuff. Right. And he's like, oh, no, I rebuild them. I buy the parts. And I was like, oh, okay. Use your G90 to make coffee. Actually, you can use it to warm up the coffee. But I actually made oatmeal with coffee today.
Ugh.
The kids kind of dared me. They were kind of one of those, it's fourth period, and they're a little different anyway. They're like, yeah, well, I bet you won't make oatmeal with your coffee. I'm like, oatmeal coffee. It was actually kind of bad. It was because apple cinnamon doesn't really go with coffee. It's kind of like you and your banana bread beer kind of stuff. It didn't really work, so I had to put like a scoop of peanut butter in there to make it edible because I couldn't waste the coffee. It's kind of
we had peanut butter, apple cinnamon, coffee, oatmeal.
Yeah, and it was, well, I ate it because I had to. I was dared.
Right, like, I'll show you. I'll show you.
You can't not eat it when like a 12-year-old dares you to do something like that. So,
and you're like, this is the best peanut butter, apple cinnamon, coffee, oatmeal I've ever had. How about that?
There's a dude in one of those classes that like eats random bugs, and he's like, "Go ahead, dare me. I'll eat one." I'm like, "No, because you'll die."
End up in a hospital, right?
I'll be responsible. So. He ate like a caterpillar last year, and apparently his whole side of his face puffed up and stuff. So I was like, nope, sorry, man. T-Man saying that's that got a little throw. It was kind of bad, T-Man. It really was, but I kind of had to keep the face straight for the things you do to entertain the Padawans. But
yeah, that's hilarious. I might have said I'll eat it, but you're taking the first bite.
So, well, no, see, I'm not going to, it's Corona days, man. I'm not taking anything close to them. So, right. They sneeze all over themselves. Sounds like one of Josh's beers. So,
or Jason's. I'm sure Jason would be like, that's the best beer I've ever had.
Now, I actually bought a banana bread beer a couple weeks ago because it was like in the store, and I was getting a bunch of coffee stouts and stuff like that. And I was like, because coffee and beer are meant to go together. But I looked at that and I was like, and I ended up getting it. That was nasty.
Sure, it was. I half the stuff I just don't understand. Where it's like chocolate and cardamom porter, and
I don't even know what cardamom is. I mean, I don't want it.
Right, it's like I don't know about that. I just want beer to be cold and fizzy, the way God intended.
Well, I ended up stomaching it by mixing it with. I think I had a chocolate stout or something in the back that.
Oh, right.
That was the other one I wanted to try, and I was like, well, I'm going to have to mix this with something because that was rough. So you people who, I don't know how Josh can drink that fruity stuff.
Well, all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, beer shouldn't taste like candy. You know what I mean? Like where people are like, I've got a peanut butter cream, like a Cadbury cream egg porter. I'm just like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Now, I don't know, see, because peanut butter, I can see, Jason's been talking about that peanut butter, so he's sending me one of those because I can't find one anywhere. Because peanut butter is like ambrosia of the gods to me. It's one of those.
Yeah. It's awesome that you guys do send them around. I think that's pretty cool.
I'll try one, and we'll see how that goes. But I typically stick to either just cold fizzy, plain stuff, or coffee. So what are they talking about? I'm not sure CRTs are worth restoring. No, they weigh about 150 Zima. You remember Zima?
I do remember Zima. And then they came out with Zima Gold. I don't know if you remember that, but
to try to make it look real.
Yeah, I just cheap beers.
OHR said it should taste like 6 gold medals.
He's damn right.
Yeah, but it's the wrong metal. He's got T in there, which means 6 gold chunks of iron or something like that. So, jalapeno. I would try that.
There's actually a what is Scotch bonnet? What is the other word? Habanero. There was a habanero beer that I had that was pretty good. It was a pale ale, I believe, and habanero flavored. And Yeah, I think that's what it is. Ballast Point.
All right. So for those of you trying to track Ape's location, he mispronounces habanero as habanero. So
Isn't that what I
that
said?
probably regionalizes him somewhere. We can probably kind of narrow down his location.
Habanero.
No, it's habanero. Habanero.
That's what I said. Habanero.
No. Ass. Two different vowel sounds. Okay.
But that was pretty good.
What about French toast? I couldn't do that, Tim.
Right. I got a cinnamon toast crunch porter. I was like, come on, man.
Oreo cookie porter.
Yeah.
They warned us 2020 would be bad.
Yeah. At my buddy's house, they have the Mad Dog 2020, and we watch football. Not now, but when we would watch football, if the other team, like, so if my team scores and yours doesn't, you got to take a shot of Mad Dog.
I'll leave that to y'all. So, Radioactive blames it on Bartles and James because they had some weird stuff. So,
yeah, whatever happened to wine coolers?
I think they're still there. I don't know. Not my cup of.
Well, it used to be on all the commercials were all the wine cooler commercials, right?
So, Nugget, your kids got you that? I'm guessing Nugget's, not 35. Because his kids are bringing home Mad Dog.
Maybe.
I guess they might be, depending on the elementary school they go to. they might can buy it on the crosswalk from the guard. So,
right.
Don't forget Big Mouth Sterling Beer, the Beast. See, now they're just getting funky. So,
the Beast is Milwaukee's best, right?
Yeah, and the PBR can special that we were talking about earlier. What's $99 for $40 or something like that?
Yeah, I'm being honest. I'd be all over that if I could pick up a 99 can case, and I'd be all over it.
I don't know.
TO's being funny.
I tried the PBR with the coffee thing, and it was too sweet for me. Couldn't do it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I think that's it.
Yeah, I don't really have much else.
I mean, we've just been rambling about beverages for 5 minutes. So, anybody having anything they want to?
W6 RIP just showed up.
Now he shows up, and he's the grocery man out at Stater Brothers, one of those places out there. I bet he can get a deal on some of those.
He's the search and rescue guy too, right?
Yeah,
Isn't that what he does?
He's a jack of all trades kind of dude.
Sub him while you're at it.
Yeah, if you're not sub W6 RIP Radio Adventures, make sure you head over there because
him and KKUSY Chuck.
Yeah, KK6 USY. Got to get.
Isn't that what it said?
No, close enough. It's the Miller Lite talking.
It could be.
But yeah, that's two more good channels in there. So, and if Dennis just spoke up, so like I said earlier, if you were not subscribed to Dennis's podcast, I'm pretty sure it's available on all of the podcast things. I mean, it's on Apple Pie. It's on all of them, I'm pretty sure. But Google it up, you can find it. So you need to try funnel cake. Ugh. I'm not sure who KI5JFN is, but they're relatively
Brent he shows up around here all the time.
So yeah, but I anytime I see a KI5, I have to stop and think, is this one of my Padawans? Because they're all KI5 people. So
well, Brett, he's been on the Monday Night Ham Radio.
Brett, yeah, you're right. Okay, I see I saw funnel cake and got distracted. But,
started getting hungry.
So, was the Young Ham YouTuber? Was it K4NFP that we were talking about?
T.O. knows who it is.
So I don't know, but you know what? I'll look it up, and because he's a young person trying to make ham radio content, so I'm all for it. It's
he 3D prints these little paddles too for CW. He's selling them over on QRZ.
So he ought to not be too hard to find, but I'll make sure we get that for next time and throw it out there because people like that, young guys that are trying to get ham radio stuff going. Oh, speaking of Wilster Bug, that must be one of mine since it's Hey Mr. Goodgame. But you definitely want to encourage those younger folks that are out there trying to get some content out there because a lot of times the Padawans listen to the young folks more than us old bald people. So I'm just saying I have to do things like eat coffee oatmeal to get their attention
or to get attention.
So But all right, well, I reckon that's about it, man. So it was good
All
having you,
right. Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for watching, everybody. It's been fun.
and it's been fun. And hey, it's Will. I couldn't have guessed that from the Wilster bug, Will. So he didn't get hit by a bus. That's good to know. So I know who it is now. So it's the dude that almost got run over in the parking lot last week. So it was ugly.